guys, what's up? My name is Maria Unera. I am your host today, and I've got the wonderful Mr. Rakae, who's going to be talking a little bit about some music, especially this season, NESCAFÉ Basement Season 6. I'm really excited. So we'll introduce you to Mr. Rakae right over here. What's
Thank
up?
you.
How
Thank
are
you,
you?
Maria.
How's it going?
All good, all good. I think we just went through a whole
quick-
day of shoot,
Yeah.
and still going strong. I guess.
Amazing, amazing. I'm so stoked
but
for this
thank you.
season.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who understands the layout of Nescafé Basement,
Yeah,
I had the
of course.
honor to be part of it in the yesteryears. I just wanted to understand a little bit about how this season is for you, and the song that you produced. How did that all come about?
Right. So I mean, I don't know how it was when you
Yeah,
started in
it
your
was a bit different back
previous
then.
years, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So I think initially what happened was that I was approached by someone from the team.
Okay.
And they said that we have a couple of options that we'd like to share with you,
Right.
and why don't you give them a listen and see what you like,
Amazing.
and maybe you could work with them,
Right.
work with those artists. So they sent me a couple. They sent me Ittehad.
Right.
They sent me a couple of their tracks, and they sent me Sonia Shahzad's
Amazing.
some of her recordings.
Right.
So then what I heard Ittehad's Saki,
Right.
okay, which is the song that
That's the name of the
know,
song, guys.
that's the name of the song, and I was instantly sold when I heard
Amazing.
it.
Yeah.
I heard the other one, but I said this one has something in
Some
it,
flavor.
some flavor.
Right.
It's just it's authentic. It's got that earworm kind of a
Right.
feel,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the melody just sticks into your head, and I
Yeah.
feel that.
It's catchy.
It's catchy. Like Sindhi
Right.
music is just something that
Yeah.
sort of sticks with you once the first time you hear it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually going to be my next
Yeah.
question. So I believe that this band is from Hyderabad. You told me
Yes,
earlier,
definitely.
and so they focus on like the Sindhi language,
Exactly.
which is what they're
Yeah.
doing in this song as well.
Which is what they're doing.
So that's really interesting. I feel like, how did that come about? Like, how did you just know that English and Urdu is going to make sense?
Like-
Because it's quite tricky, as an
yeah.
English singer myself, whenever somebody approaches me to do a fusion,
Right.
सबसे मुश्किल part वही होता है when you're just like, but how do I make it
Make it
aesthetically work to your ears, So was that
Right.
challenging for you?
I think at
because it's
first-
3 different languages.
Yes, totally. I think the person who wrote it, actually, so it's an original by the Ittehad band,
Right.
and it was written by this one of their managers, G.A. Sumro.
Oh wow.
So, once I got to understand the meaning, and it was sung by Zan, who's the main vocalist.
Right.
And once I got to understand the meaning, it was like all about this man who's sort of professing his love. Saki is basically sort of the man's obsession.
Right.
And he's just talking about how, he, if he
Expressing
ever,
his love.
yeah, if he ever
Right.
sees her somewhere in the crowd, and then
Wow.
he's sort of,
So poetic.
it is very poetic.
Very poetic.
And when you hear the song, like the language, it's
Yeah.
just so poetic.
I
Anyway.
think this also, I believe, like,
Yeah.
in this season there's a lot of original music as well. So I
Yes.
think this
Which is amazing.
song specifically probably gives out that
Exactly.
that oomph that
Right.
people have been craving. That's really cool. How was it working with Ittehad and Sonia?
Yeah, so once we understood the meaning, then we called Sonia in.
Right.
And then, so we had a session with me. She came over to my studio. And we
Amazing.
sort of, and I had my team of 1 or 2 people. We sort of, brainstormed. We discussed, what would make sense, in such a song where this girl's coming in to sing.
Right.
So we thought she has to sort of sing something that sort of contrasts.
Right. Because she
What
has a
the-
very unique voice also.
She has a unique voice.
Sonia
and
has a very, like, her tonality is very...
it's soft.
It's soft.
Yeah,
It's soft,
it's
and
soft.
we were also discussing how Sonia Shahzad is a great vocalist. She
Oh,
really
yeah.
knows how to give really good harmonies,
harmonies
as well.
were beautiful.
And I think that's like the most difficult part being a singer, especially a female singer, when
Yeah.
you're doing something that's very dominating in a different language. तो वो
For
fusion
sure.
बनाना भी, I'm sure it must be a little.
I feel
Like, I'm sure it was
yeah,
challenging at some point.
it was challenging, but the lyrics, that was the more challenging part.
Right. How to match it.
Yeah.
So did you have control in pairing Sonia and the band,
Yes, I think.
or were you given like multiple options on who?
I was given options.
Okay.
And then when I heard Sonia's a couple of her demos, and some stuff she did on Instagram, and I thought, yeah, this will work in some ways, because she has this soft but also assertive tone in her voice.
Yeah.
And
काफी depth भी है.
yeah. There's a lot of depth, and so when she came over, we talked about, okay, so this guy's talking about his love for Saki, right, and for this woman. Should we make it a sort of love story, or should we talk about how this woman is just very full of herself,
right,
and she's like, no, it's not going to happen ever. So I think that was more fun.
Right. वो थोड़ी सी मुझे, I remember when I heard the song अभी वो, I could feel a bit of like, and don't take this the wrong way, थोड़ी सी थी attitude, but like in a very sassy sort of way, like इस तरह नहीं था कि मतलब like आप अगले बंदे को reject कर रहे हो. But it was very, I quite enjoyed what she was also saying.
Yeah,
I
thought she came up with some good lyrics. बहुत मतलब English में तो वैसे ही, I think it was quite natural for
Forte,
her. Urdu was a challenge.
I'm sure.
Because I think.
Because मैं तो नहीं लिख सकती उर्दू में.
मुझे भी
It's a challenge indeed. Like because I think it's a very sensitive language.
It is.
अगर आप कुछ भी कहो, like गाओ, लिखो, and if you say it wrong, if you sing it wrong, incorrect,
of course, then
तो वो
it's
सारे
very unforgiving.
haters फिर आ जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं ओए.
Yeah,
They're like, hey.
Totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
तो वो उसका भी डर था. तो
I'm
हमने
sure.
we kept it simple. वही जाके तारे सारे तोड़ लाओ. Basically वो कह रही है कि आप कुछ भी कर लो, मैं तो बिल्कुल आपके पास नहीं आऊँगी. हाँ.
Like I'm an independent woman.
So yeah, in a way, it was like, if you look at the spiritual aspect, अगर उसको आप metaphorically देखो, you'll think about. I thought about it like that कि कि ये एक सूफी बंदा है और वो express कर रहा है कि मैं मुझे चाहिए enlightenment, जिसको कहते हैं ना, मुझे वज्द जिसको कहते हैं, और she's represents the enlightenment and unattainable है.
Would you do you see yourself making more music with them?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love
individually
their vibe.
or
Bilkul. I feel Sonia has good songwriting skills, and I would love to produce some of the tracks.
Sonia has also been at it, mashallah से वो कब से कर रही है, I think
Bilkul.
since 2017 or
She was in
16.
NESCAFÉ
She was
before,
also in
Bilkul.
NESCAFÉ back in season 4.
And you worked with her, right?
That was when I was also, I did my
Nice.
little part
Amazing.
in NESCAFÉ basement. Honestly, it feels quite interesting to be on the other side. I feel like मैंने life में graduate कर ली है.
All right.
It feels like, oh, tell me.
Yeah. Come
Let's
the young
compare
ones.
experiences.
Right.
Well, of course, ज़माना different ही था. बेशक 8 साल या 10 साल. It was a
बिल्कुल.
different time, but nothing brings me more joy जब मुझे खबर मिलती है कि music is still being produced, and it's also being produced by people like you.
Oh, no,
And
thank
then
you.
there's what I am very excited about this season is that not only is it new individuals, but it's also each and every single music producer is quietly chosen according to the vibe and the feel of today's music, and also the people that they've got on board. I'm really, really stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the rest of the.
How was the
songs.
experience of the video shoot for you? Like,
Oh, it was very.
it matched
Yeah,
everything.
I think from.
Was it fun? Because I feel like audio, जब भी आप वो बनाते हो, whatever, the visual experience enhances your song. So,
बिल्कुल.
was that something that you also envisioned when you were making the music?
Yeah.
I know a lot of producers often like उनको भी like वो होता है, they're like, oh, maybe we could see this while this and that, whatever. I don't know.
Well, at first when जब हमने record किया था, जब सारे आए थे, एक तो वो vibe बहुत instantly match हो गई थी.
That's the most important part.
क्योंकि all of them came to the studio. Sonia was there, and I think we all had a good time recording. There was no stress in that way. Even though we had only that one day. for them to
Wow.
come and record.
Wow.
And but it was still done smoothly, you know, their instruments and एक हंसी मजाक का माहौल भी होना चाहिए, एक
Amazing.
light
Yeah,
माहौल
of
होना चाहिए,
course.
and I very
Absolutely.
firmly believe that
Yeah.
you know you can't work in that kind of
You can't be too
stressful
serious.
environment.
I feel like
Or-
art generally,
बिल्कुल.
like any form of art, there needs to be some sort of leeway.
Yes.
Jahan dono, be it in music or even in film, like both
बिल्कुल.
parties, you know, the people behind the show and
Yeah.
in front of it, like you guys need to have some sort of.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
This lightheartedness.
वो vibe नहीं आती.
बिल्कुल,
The way the
बिल्कुल
kids
vibe.
say it these
And in
days.
the shoot, it was the same. My first time being in such a
Yeah,
shoot
that
like
was going to be
that.
my next question. So how does it feel to be?
I mean, I've done other.
I know you've been
kind of
doing this
shoots.
for a long
Yeah.
time.
But this one was.
Was it new, fresh?
I felt it was a fresh because I'm playing that electric sitar as well as, you know, sort of doing that production stuff. So this is a song where I'm doing both things.
Oh, cool. Very
you know.
cool.
So I think for me, I liked exploring that side,
So
and
music,
I was
so
jumping
musically
up and down.
and instrumentally, there's like you mentioned that there's the sitar.
Yeah, I've
And
added
then,
a
are
bit
there
of
any
sitar.
like cool new instruments that we should look out for
I
in
feel
this
like
song?
so I've used the sort of electronic version of the sitar, so I've
Okay,
made it
cool.
a bit more,
Yeah,
you know,
modern.
modern. The sound थोड़ा ज़्यादा जैसे वो traditional sitar का sound होता है उससे थोड़ा सा हटके,
Okay, nice.
and you know just played added effects to it.
Cool.
उसके अलावा you know there's certain vocal sort of chops that
Very
we use
cool.
in it
As
and-
samples.
yeah,
Nice.
exactly, as samples.
Cool.
You know, some little, you know, sounds. The harmonium really worked really well. और मज़ेदार उसके जो है ना छोटे छोटे जो बजा रहा था,
Little runs.
little runs,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
the
yeah.
riffs that he played, and
That's quite hard to play in the
oh
harmonium.
yeah, and he was just perfect. I
Because
think.
like there's a lot of sustained notes I feel
yeah,
in the
but,
harmonium.
But
है ना?
but when because he plays like intricate melodies really fast, and I think those really worked in those
Cool.
short bursts.
I think that's what I love the most about our Pakistani producers, that you always like people, at least from my experience, like हमेशा यही होता है कि you try to include as many traditional instruments
Yeah,
as
बिल्कुल,
possible.
बिल्कुल.
Because of course we live in 2024, बहुत modern times हैं.
Yeah.
Everything is very, you know,
Yeah.
influenced by the West, which is good
Which
because
is
you learn that
fine.
way. But then I think it's also important, and I really feel it in this song as well,
Mhm.
that both cultures are
Yeah, that's what
Enhanced.
I tried my best to make that happen, because
awesome.
you can't एक तो आप यहाँ के हैं, पाकिस्तान के
Yeah,
हैं,
you
तो
gotta make your country
आपको फख्र
shine.
होना चाहिए कि
Yeah.
आप अपने साजों को दिखा रहे हैं, अपने म्यूजिक को
Yeah.
आप you know
And I love
represent कर
that
रहे हैं
it's
उसमें.
Sindhi. Like there's just
हाँ.
something about that
बिल्कुल.
uniqueness that comes out. मुझे बहुत like खुशी हुई सुन के अभी
really,
पीछे. I was
same
listening
here.
to the song and I was like, nice.
No, I'm so glad. Thank
I
you.
was listening to it and it sounds like a Rakae song, by the
Oh
way.
wow, okay.
It sounds
I-
like a song that was
That
produced.
means a lot.
And I
Yeah.
think it's the sitar, and I think it's like the
Right.
harmonium and the piche and the little chops that you're talking about.
Yeah.
All of these factors highlight the producer. I feel like producers don't get enough credit to
Right.
music songs, in my opinion. I feel now, obviously, times are different.
Times are different.
अब highlights हो रहे हैं.
थोड़े बहुत हो रहे हैं.
Which
yeah.
is great,
Yeah, which is
because
great.
back in the day, you know, हमेशा यही होता था कि okay, you talk about the songs,
हाँ.
you talk about the vibe, you talk about the meaning, and then you talk a little bit about the producer.
About the producer, exactly.
But I
now,
love that
like,
we're highlighting the producers.
बिल्कुल, I think the times have changed, and you know it's all about that sound. You can have a good song, but if it's not sort of अगर वो उसका जो soundscape है वो सही ना हो,
Yeah.
तो वो it'll fall short.
Do you have
हाँ.
any goals for how people will perceive the song? Do you have any? I know most
I hope they
producers.
just connect to it. I hope they
Yeah.
enjoy listening to it. That's my main thing. I want
Yeah.
them to connect with it emotionally. I want them to just vibe. I want them to move their
Yeah.
heads to it. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope they have a sense of pride in
Yeah.
our cultural sort of gems.
Amazing.
And I think this is one of them.
Amazing. Do you have any like, if you were to describe the vibe of this song, how would you
I feel
describe it?
It's very energetic. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
it's
felt it was a
groovy.
bit groovy.
Yeah, it's got that sort of
Funk.
you know, yeah, funk and sort of a very head bopping vibe.
Right.
मतलब कि
Yeah. So
you
it's an
want to move
upbeat
your head to
song.
it.
It's an upbeat
It's an upbeat song for sure.
Awesome.
And with a bit of a drop, because I think that's important कि आप लोग you know एक गाने में अगर straight line की तरह ना चले वो
Yeah.
बिल्कुल up
I
and
quite
down
like
होना
the
चाहिए,
part कि
dynamic
Sonia
होना
के
चाहिए.
part से पहले when the
बिल्कुल.
song breaks down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think a collaboration song is always highlighted जब अगले singer की introduction की space होती है.
बिल्कुल.
For example,
हाँ.
कि like जैसे first chorus खत्म हुआ है.
Yeah.
And then musically everything went a little dialed down.
Exactly.
It's like a classic NESCAFÉ basement thing.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm glad.
I
Because
I always hear
right.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like, you know, back in the day, it would always be like जब कोई नई instrumental part भी अगर हम introduce कर रहे होते थे,
बिल्कुल.
वो एक segue होती है. It would like, you know, pass on and it would be like, okay, अब वो part आ
Right.
रहा है.
Yeah.
So
And I remember listening to NESCAFÉ, the
Yeah.
previous songs, और वो बहुत मैंने सीखा
Yeah.
उन गानों से
yeah,
काफी ज़्यादा.
कैसे, you know, yeah.
हाँ.
And I really felt it with the track abhi when I was
Yeah.
listening to it. I was like, all right, I can tell like Sonia's about to come
Yeah.
and she's about to
I wanted
sing.
that premonition के भाई एक आने वाला है एक.
And it
एक और
sounds
part,
grand.
yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to hear it properly in better speakers.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm quite excited
No,
for
thank you.
and for the band and for Sonia and
Yeah,
especially
they're all wonderful. I think
you know,
you
back in
can-
the day we used to do that.
Ah.
I used to post a Facebook status in Islamabad
Right.
because it was easier to gather people over there. मैं हमेशा लिखती थी कि like to the musicians of Islamabad / Rawalpindi, like we are meeting up at so and so and so. Bring your instruments. और एक
Right.
दफा 50 लोग आ गए थे.
Oh,
Imagine
wow,
like
okay.
we had you name or the instruments. You name it, like it was the guitarist, a pianist showed up with like a whole,
Oh wow.
and people are bringing their
People are
amps and like
starving to just
yeah,
express
and this was
themselves.
10 years ago.
Wow.
But so I can imagine कि ये boys ने क्या किस तरह वो
Oh, definitely.
amazing. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
they've been around. So people know
People
them.
do know
and
them.
and
I
they're
think the
based in
people here-
Hyderabad, right?
Based in Hyderabad.
Cool.
And I think they
Awesome.
performed the day before the shoot. They were performing somewhere in.
Amazing. That's the
No,
hustle,
so,
man. That's
yeah,
the hustle.
that's
Honestly,
good.
I keep every year, थोड़ी सी ironic बात है.
Mm.
Every year, everyone always says कि this is the year for Pakistani music,
Yeah.
and you know what? It is. Every single
I
year
feel like,
is
yeah.
the year.
Definitely.
You've been around. I'm sure आपको भी आपने evolution देखा होगा
Yeah.
music का.
Yeah, yeah.
कि कहाँ से किधर कहाँ
बिल्कुल.
तक पहुँचे and how people process and work and manage and I think जो brainstorming sessions होती है ना हर music song की I think वो भी evolved हुई है.
वो भी बोलते हैं.
Right?
बिल्कुल.
Like it's very
Yeah.
different now. I feel like because everything is so digitalized or computerized, like
Yeah.
it it doesn't take as long as how it used to.
Yes, for sure. Not anymore.
I think it's a bit more.
I mean, if I'm sitting here and someone else in Karachi, हम आसानी से, you know, we can exchange ideas.
We did that.
And
we did that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did that on a
We did
project.
that on a project as
Bilkul.
well. That's right. And I
Yeah.
think that's the beauty of it. Like
That's the
that's
beauty of it.
also the beauty of music. There's no limits to
There's no limits.
any kind of
And
collaboration.
there's more autonomy ना आपको अब ज़्यादा एक वो होता है you are in control of
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
You don't have to depend on other people now.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Beauty.
beauty and the positive factor of technology
Yes.
in music.
Yeah.
कि भाई अब शुक्र है कि मैं खुद चीज़ें कर सकता हूँ अगर मैं सीखूँ और
Yeah.
मेरे अंदर वो पैशन हो
Cool.
कि मैं करूँ.
Wow.
So you can be your own producer, you can be your own singer, you can be your own everything.
Amazing. Wise words
So
from
I
Mr.
like that.
Rakae. You can be your own producer, your own everything.
I think so.
Sweet. I'm really stoked to watch the video now.
Yeah. same
Like I
here.
said, putting something like visually to what you're listening to
Yeah.
really enhances the track as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add to
Well-
maybe encourage the people to come out and listen to this track or anything that you'd like to mention about this song?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank NESCAFÉ for getting us together, for introducing me to these artists, because
Amazing.
without them I wouldn't have known about them. So thank you. And I just think that whoever's going to listen to this song, I think they'll take it in, they'll absorb it, they'll have fun with it,
Yeah.
they'll vibe to it, and you know, you won't regret taking those 4 minutes out of your life listening to that song.
Amazing.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun experience. I think it's something you can listen to
While
when you're
driving.
with a group
Oh,
of friends.
yeah.
You can listen to when you're driving.
Yeah. Felt like a road trip song, really.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice,
Yeah,
cute
that
song
too.
to listen to at the back when you're
Exactly.
driving.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's good.
मुझे यही वही मैं कह रही हूँ ना कि
Maybe
मैं
at shadis.
maybe you know maybe
Maybe.
no, that's what I'm saying, like whenever I listen to a song और मुझे नहीं पता कि उसकी क्या होगी म्यूजिक वीडियो में हमेशा अपने दिमाग में I guess that's an artist thing. I'm not sure.
Everyone's got their
Everybody's
own
different.
interpretation, yeah.
But for me, I was just like, oh, this would be a sick song to listen to while driving, like on the
Cool, yeah.
roads of Sindh. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just being
I
artistic.
should try.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you, if you haven't already, check out the song Saki by the band Ittehad featuring Sonia Shazad, produced by the one and only Mr. Rakae. If you haven't heard it, head over to NESCAFÉ Basement's YouTube channel or Spotify and check out the song, support local music, comment below, let us know what you guys think. And if you really like them, then also go over to their pages and support them there because zaruri hai. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys soon. Have fun. Take care.